Well, good morning, everyone. It's just about morning here in the UK, and here is where I'm currently at with a Delorean. It's taken a long time to get here, mainly due to how much money I've had to spend on it, and also had a lot of changes in my life. But we're over 10 years into the build now, and it's coming along quickly now, which is great because I've got pretty much everything I need. So we dropped the engine in the other day. Myself and my girlfriend were in the garage till very late. Because it was not playing ball, but we got it in. Just started assembling a few of the bits on top just to test fit a lot of it, check it's all actually fitting it in place, getting my head around it as well. I have to test this. It's a sort of suck it and see thing. So I've got I think my original aircon unit down there. This one came with a whole load of parts from a car that a chap that did some amazing work on his DeLorean. And he wanted everything perfect. So there are a lot of parts that I got from him that actually were perfectly functional, but he wanted his perfect. And the reason he wanted it perfect is because he made this, which I think everyone's probably seen before. And this is, this aircon unit, I think, is the one that came from that. So hopefully it'll work. If not, I'll have to get it refurbished. And the same with a lot of parts. So as we're starting from this end. A few weeks back, I sent the whole car in its entirety to Chris Nicholson up in Canvey Island. Fortunately, not too far from me, on the back of a transporter, and he regrained everything. He sorted out a lot of little dents. There was quite a dink here. And when it came back, I thought, right, let's get that engine in as quick as I can. But fortunately, I got them to do this, which was so much easier with all the space back here. And this is just a slight reflection tint, so it's not too obvious. I didn't want it to be like a mirror, but you can actually see what the other side's how it does. Well, you've got really good view still in it, and I'm hoping that it will be okay with the heat of the engine. But also, I don't want it to. I don't want the newly painted inside to get faded in the sun. So I think it looks quite nice. It's not over the top. That's what I was concerned about. Worst comes to worst, I can take it off, but there it is. So when it comes to the rest of the car, had to have the wheels refurbished before. I know with mine it's an October 81. It should have the light silver, but I like the darker ones, so that's what I'm going for. I don't plan on selling the car at any point if I can help it. So I'm doing it the way I would like it, but being sympathetic to making it right. Headlining, darker. I know that's what everyone will say. Oh, it's dark headlining, what you're doing. Again, I quite liked it. This is a stretch fabric, and it worked really quite nicely on here. Moulded easily for me to do it myself. And when it comes to the joins, I need to do a little bit of tidying up. But yeah, they all came on quite nicely. I haven't finished everything. You can see I've done the pillar this side in the new stretch vinyl. Couple of little bits. You'll see a couple of marks on it. That's actually from the windscreen. That's the light coming through. There's no marks. And did an extra little bit on the edge. The reason being is because I can't tuck it under the windscreen at the moment. So yeah, left extra on there, lapped it over so you don't get a big black line on the edge of the fiberglass. And you'll see as well, again, different with the light, but the dashboard vinyl is exactly the same stuff. What I did was I purchased the glove box lid from DeLorean Go, and then I got a load of samples in of different vinyls to try and match the closest I could to that, because my original dashboard, well, you can see that it's actually here just about. That was totally chewed by mice. There's big holes in it. It's absolutely horrible. So got this dash, deleted the original speaker holes, and then drilled in new ones to just have the tweeters from these Sony speakers. The reviews were really good on them. I didn't really expect to use Sony. I've never used it before. Always gone with Pioneer, but yeah, it looked really good. It was a good size to fit in that gap. So yeah, I've done that pillar, but basically, yeah, worked the vinyl for the rest of the car around that glove box lid to match it as close as I can. It doesn't look too matched in the video, but when it's in person in daylight, it looks pretty close. So yeah, redid the dash myself. Very annoyed about this little bit on the edge. Might have to do the whole thing again at some point, but at the moment, I've got to get on with this car. So So yeah, just did that pillar. Got another pillar to do later today. As you can see, it's sat there ready to go. Got the rear view mirror in place. Had to use it with a sticky pad. Hopefully it's going to hold all right. And the DAB aerial, tucked it away as best I can. But if I put it on the back window, I don't think you get very good reception at all. So going with that. I don't know what's really going on with the sun visors, because the one on the other side is totally misformed. But they were just thrown in the frunk of this car when I got it. So we'll have to see what I'm going to do with that later. HVAC unit's all rebuilt. I've got to sort out the wiring of that soon. But you see the dashboard's mainly in place. Can't find a nut for the heater control, the one on the bottom left. That's really annoying because I don't think it's metric, unless either that or it's a different type of thread. And hundreds of bulldog clips, which I'm using on the edges of the vinyl and the carpet lining. You'll also note these panels in the back. These were an absolute state on this. They'd all peeled off. I know there is someone doing a very good job at refurbishing them, but I'd already gone in on this because I'm putting speakers just on the back panel. So there'll be 4 speakers here, hopefully not too over the top. If they are, then I'll recover them or recolor the grills or something like that. But the position of the speakers meant they were just never going to be that good in the back. So I've got the sub part of these tweeters will be the 2 center ones, and then 2 full range ones for the rear speakers. And I've got one of those blaupunkt retro looking units to go in the front as well. But the good thing with that is that it is DAB. It has got GPS. It's got everything you can think of really on it. And yeah, it should be a really good sound. Got the carpets here. This is more sort of test fitting and just trying to flatten them out really. But yeah, they seem to be going okay. So I've done this side as well. Still needs a little bit of finishing off to get it just right and getting the edging on, which I think will set it off nicely. Found in my box of tricks the original rubber handbrake cover, which is great. A few chews from mice, which is annoying, but the car was totally destroyed by mice before. Hence, every bit of wiring being brand new. And here, this whole wiring loom I got in from the US. Definitely cost a pretty penny, and all the other sub wiring looms as well, because they were totally shot by mice. Which I pulled the one in from here that goes to all the front wiring, and as I was trying to feed it through, literally it just all came off in my hand, and it was a massive mouse nest basically in it. That was it. There's nothing else. So yeah, I had to start again. Had to do it properly, including the indicators and stuff. Had to replace them because that was all bent and broken, and this is all painted. So at some point I'll do the steering wheel, but there's no rush on that because, well, I'll be messing around with all of that for a while. So that's going to be one of my last things. And the binnacle cover as well. I'm going to be working on that. That's up on the shelf and going to be slowly filling in the holes because that, again, was all chewed by mice. There's the standard crack down the centre, but yeah, totally wrecked by the mice. So, yeah, as we move on from there, you see again with the wiring loom being replaced, all nice new connectors there. I'm looking at doing a carb conversion on this, and that's just because I'm missing quite a few bits of the EFI, not EFI, the K-Jet stuff. So, and one day I'm looking at maybe doing something totally different with the engine. So I want to do something to get it going because I've still never driven this blooming thing and would very much like to. Got a replacement bumper here. Or rear fascia, I should say. Fortunately, that got stolen. It got nicked out of my parents' garage back when my car was living in there. They had an open garage. We never realised it had gone until we moved the car, and I couldn't find it, which is very annoying. These, I mean, I've cleaned up these panels, not that they were really needed to, but they are here and ready to go. They've been painted, and I'm going to stick the stainless letters on as well, just to really make it pop. This was with a massive dent in it when I first got it, of course, because it had to be. Chris Nicholson did his magic on that, and I got this this stripe from Delorean Go. You can see as I move it back and forth the grain on it as well. The chaps that did the tinting on here, they did a great job, and and I said to them, do you mind fitting this stripe as well? They charged me, I think, about another 30 quid, £30 to do that. They loved working on it, which is the absolute brilliant thing with these cars. And also, they charged me £30 for this. So under here, it's delaminated, the windscreen, and it was looking really nasty. I said to Chris Nicholson, when he did the regraining and the roof box, maybe we need to do a windscreen. And he looked at it and he said, do you know what? No, that's your original. Keep it as is. And just go with that for the moment. So that was great because, well, yeah, money's not the easiest in the world right now. It's also quite nice that it's got the original sticker on it here as well. This vehicle came from, it was a Florida car. I bought it from, dare I say it, Beverly Hills Car Club. But so many years ago that it wasn't a crazy price, but it was, yeah, a shockingly bad condition car that needed everything doing. So frame's obviously been off. It's had to have loads of fabrication. Mice had chewed through the, as I show you under here, mice had chewed through the clutch and brake lines. So everything had heavily corroded underneath here to the point where it was flexing really badly. So once we got it apart, got it shot blasted, got it all fabricated on a jig. He did a really good job, which is good because he charged me a hell of a lot for it. But the car came back powder coated, a good grey colour. It's hard for me to show it exactly here, but it's yeah, it's pristine, absolutely pristine. And then I got Chris Nicholson to build everything on the chassis because I don't trust myself doing things like brake lines and fuel lines and all that. So he's done all of that. Got the new pump in the front. If I go for carbing it, then I'll need to bypass that and put a new a pickup in there. But yeah, everything painted in here. It'd be great to get the carpet in it, but I've got a few more bits to connect up when it comes to the aircon. After that, this will almost be done in here. It'd be quite nice to actually seal it up. It's just a little bit of dust and dirt here. It's actually looking all right. This I had to do myself, and if anyone's done it, it's a nightmare and it makes you want to absolutely go insane and scream. It took me a very long time to do, but when Chris Nicholson had a look, he said, oh, do you know what, that's come out actually pretty well. So it's not pretty, I don't love it, but it is probably the best you're going to get now. Like I said about the, for me, it jumps out at me, the DAB aerial. I might have to do something else with that at some point because that's frustrated me a whole load. But maybe I'm just being over the top. And I've got the washer jet to fit to the wipers as well. The scuttle panel went in okay. I used a bit of fuel line underneath here as a spacer. Just keep cutting the fuel line. I think it was about 11 mil, but you'll measure it yourself, I'm sure. And then, of course, once I'd fitted it, I went through some of my boxes here of all the bits, and I found all the original spacers. Because that's what happens, isn't it? That's always what happens. So here we've got, the cubby hole. The cubby hole and the handbrake cover. This was a little frustrating. They've been really good about it, but I bought the carpet set from, I think it's DMC Texas. It was one of the US vendors because I saw that it was a properly moulded one. Great quality. I like it. And a couple of things were sewn together wrong, unfortunately. You'll think that this is the same here. I'm trying to show it. But if you look, this is the right orientation for it. Well, that's got the pointed end, but here is the squared off end. And it's the same thing the other way around. It's the exact opposite. So they've basically sewn this bit on the incorrect side. It should be on this side. And the same thing came with the cubby hole insert. They've sewn the upright panel that goes around the back, around the front of it. So, but they've been really good. They've refunded me for it because it's going to be a nightmare for me to send it back to the US. It'll cost everyone loads of money and be no good. So they said, no problem, we will just refund those parts. And I'm taking them to the guy that does my upholstery, and he's going to, unpick it. So on the other side, should be absolutely fine. So the upholsterer, he's done my seats. Well, you can see one is there. Don't worry, that's not a heavy box. It's not damaging it. So at some point, they'll be in the car. I've got to stick the holes in. And also on the other side, I've lost some of the metal inserts that go, that the seats mount into. They've just rotted away over the years. Again, the car was in horrific condition, so it was no good at all. Yeah, it was just so bad. I'll post a bunch of pictures and a lot of then and now type things if you like. It's a little tight getting down here, and I always have to be careful because I know I'm going to put a scratch in it. Again, these bits of headliners, pretty happy with it. It matches everything on the inside. It is darker, but I think it kind of works well with the rest of the car. Back panel's going to be the speakers, as I said. I'm going to make that out of, I think, some ply. Maybe MDF, but probably ply, and then either cover it in this carpet material, or I do have from the carpet set the original colour. I might do that. Then again, it depends how much of this vinyl I've got left over. I could actually cover it in that and pad it, give it a bit of sound insulation from the engine. HVAC, all there, present as it should be. This bit of carpet I'm just getting ready to start sticking in place. And I use this the vinyl from the dashboard there on this as well. Original foam was okay behind. Redid that, nice new cap on it, and then riveted it from the rear. And yeah, battery compartment there. This is actually in pretty good condition, which was amazing because nothing was in this car. Literally everything needing replacing. Going to update it with some new battery connectors, so that I can fit it on a standard UK battery, a top mount, rather than the one where you clamp it on the side. And new seat belts. It's a pity. My originals were chewed through by the mice. I got some replacements second hand from a car that was being parted out in the US. Unfortunately, when they arrived, they really didn't look very nice. And if I'm doing everything on the car, then I've got to do that. I said this rearview mirror is really good. So it will look just like a normal mirror. When you put it in reverse, it switches over to the rear view camera. And you see, instead of it being a mirror, you see it as a big old screen. And it's got the camera on the front as well. So it's a bit of a dirty windscreen. You can't see it too well, can you? There you go. Camera on the front. And the reviews that the guys did, someone did a video of it, fitting it into a Delorean. Did a great job. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely brilliant little video. And I was sold as soon as I saw it. Like I said, this bit here, you can see the delamination when it gets to the edge. I've got the strip to put on here, but I found there's a hole here. So you can see the difference between the delaminated bit, which you just could not clean up more, to then have this great bit of vinyl put in and absolutely perfectly cut down that line. And like I said, I found there was a hole in here. I could see light shining through. And there you go. Yeah, you can see it here. So I'm going to fill those in when I do a whole load of gluing, because I've got lots of stuff to do with the different doors. Roof box, obviously perfect because Chris replaced it. I was thinking, I could have a go. And for years I thought, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do it. Yeah, best not. I needed someone that was really going to do it right. So he fabricated one himself and put it on. Torsion bars seem in really good nick, but you never know, do you? Go pop any moment. All mechanisms in place, so I'm just tripping over a sheet here. And I won't put the door all the way down because I haven't done the seals yet. But yeah, everything in place. I've just got to sort out a few bits on the edges. I think I'm going to take this seal out carefully, dig out some of the adhesive, and then re-stick it back in place. And that'll probably be the same for the other side. That's already out, that one. But again, these doors have been perfectly matched, so they just go up right. Hopefully I'm going to be able to attach a battery soon and start testing the electricals inside. That will be a really good day, that one. It really spur me on to get some more work done on it. And after that, when it comes to bodywork, I just need the front and rear fascias painted. This is my original one. Handy in a way because there's no Roger Moore on it, which was quite surprising considering everything was wrong with this car. And all of this, again, all the wiring behind and the cups all replaced, the whole mechanism. So that will be in place. And I'm trying to show you the best way I can. But here you can see all new radiators, parts of the aircon and fans. Everything new. Like I say, cost a pretty penny, and I've been saving up for it for quite some time. Then it was after I finished rebuilding my house, it meant that I could get on with this. And yeah, every time I've got a bit of spare time, I'm in here getting on with it. So got a good sized garage. Oh, you can see I've got a pit under there as well. This was part of the part of the reason we buy this house, really. This is at the end of the garden, my garage here, and it meant I could get on with underneath, and it has been really helpful getting the engine in, getting the gearbox connected up, because I've got no chance of having a ramp in here with the sitting at this height. And like I say, you can see how bad, that is how much the mice had chewed through, literally all the way to the metal. And this, this is quite a state. But there's a chap named Rob Scott, who was on the groups before. He was selling just the dashboard, dash pad, and I got that years ago. Finally got around to gluing the new vinyl on it, and it is actually pretty good. It's Martrim is the company I use, Martrim, and they sent out any samples I needed, and it was great because I could hold them all against that glove box lid. And I bought the wrong stuff at first, which was totally my fault, but they were really helpful. And I bought the stuff that wasn't properly stretchy. That's being used though at the moment. The upholsterers are doing the backs of the seats, which is good of them, and that will match quite nicely. It's actually a slightly darker vinyl, which matches better the material from the Delorean Go seat covers. So that's going to look pretty good. Managed to rescue this piece of trim here. I like the look of the stainless one, but I don't think I need to spend out for it. I've got the original plastic one in here. And I know the engine doesn't look particularly special. I painted a few bits of it just to help. Valley of Death is not looking great, I've got to say. I mean, there's no obvious holes in it, but it's really heavily pitted. So I've painted it and done a few coats. I really hope it holds, just for me to be able to drive this car for the first time. When you've owned something for this long, you really want to get out there in the car. One other little thing. I changed a lot of the fittings, the other stainless fittings. So I think these were stainless bolts in the end, but I used these button top ones with the Allen heads, or hex heads, whatever you call it. Use them on as many things as I could. They're strong. I made sure I bought some from good, reputable dealers. But M6 and M8 stuff, I use so much all over the car. Again, I think it gives a nice little finish to a lot of it. They are stainless. I've used them on my van that's been parked outside for the last couple of years, and they've come off really good. They still look nice and shiny. So I really hope that with me keeping this garaged all the time, it's going to stay that way. And I did it with on here, use the same things. Just bought absolutely tons of them because you need so many to put this car together. Again, lots of hex heads on these as well. And as long as you use good quality ones, and if you're doing things like your electrical stuff, I don't think you get as good a connection if you are using stainless. You don't get it. It's not an insulator, but it's just not as good as it could be. So make sure you use the right things for electrical fittings. I'm no expert on this. This is the first total restoration I've ever done. So I'm sure you'll have lots of comments to make about what I've done here. But whenever there's something that's outside of my skill range, I'm getting a professional in to do it. And when it comes to me starting this car for the first time, I won't be doing it myself. I'll be getting it to a reputable classic car garage, which I do know, unfortunately, near me in Herne Bay in Kent. And I think they're going to do a great job at actually commissioning it. For instance, no fluid in the clutch. Had to replace this because the pin across was bent, but I didn't realise, and I'd had the pin for ages. As I was here, fitted a remote clutch bleeder. I think I might fit a little bracket here so that it actually just stays on the wall, but it's no great bother. There's still loads to do, but so I'm really happy that it's gone as far as it has now. The car is looking great, and I hope it just keeps getting better. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please feel free to send me any messages or queries or anything like that. And also, if you've got any ideas on how I might be able to get some other things better, please do let me know. I'm all ears.